Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Robert out here in the barn at Never a Dull Moment with Mr. Robert and Mr. Howard. I got my friend Shasta right down here. She's my bodyguard. I got my friend Fred the Peacock up here. He's watching over to make sure I do everything correct today. And we thought we would do a segment of old tools, old antique tools today. And that's what I have here. So I have selected this swage. This is a swage that's used to swage the teeth on a fixed steel saw blade. This blade here happened to be, it's small. It came off, it's a planer blade, but it'd do the same thing because you swage the teeth on them also, but you can do the big circle saw blades goes on sawmills with this machine. And what that means is a carbide tooth blade, when you put that insert carbide in a blade, it's already wider than the thickness of this blade. So it cuts straight. But a fixed blade like this, that's not carbide, is steel all the way around. What you have to do is the teeth are not sharpened this way or this way, this way, and this way. What you do is use this swage, put it on your teeth, and when you pull these two levers together, there's a cam system in here, and on this tooth right here, what it does, just say for instance, this is the blade. When you swage the tip of that tooth, it opens that tooth and gives you your clearance on the blade so it passes through your log. But I have just a little bit of a story that I would like to tell you about this swage. Years ago, there was a sawmill down the road down here. It was Compass Sawmill. It's a big sawmill right down here on the side of the highway. Been there, I don't know, as long as I can remember, and years before that. Well, they went out of business a few years ago, and I went down there and I bought a few things from them. I bought a big edger and couple of other things. I bought one of them old big drill presses that you put on the post, and you got a belt that runs it, and you just a big drill press, old-timey drill press. I bought that, and I bought this edger. Well, when I got home, my father-in-law, he says, you need a swage to go with that so you can sharpen them teeth, son-in-law. I said, well, I guess maybe I do. I said, but maybe I won't run it enough that I need that swage. He said, I think I know where there's a swage. And he was pretty old at that time, and when he was a young man, he lived in the prairie country up here around Newton, Mississippi. And he ran a sawmill for a man up there, and he was the sawyer. And the sawyer's job was to run the sawmill and maintain the sawmill and sharpen the blades. He said, I used to run this sawmill for that man, and he said, we would run it every morning until noon, and then at noontime, I would check the blade and sharpen it. If the teeth needed swaging, I would swage them, and that was my job. He said, I bet that man still got that old swage up there. And I told him, his name was Harvey, Mr. Harvey. I said, Mr. Harvey, I said, that man's been dead for 40 years. I said, nothing, you will never find that. He said, yeah, I know he's dead. He said, but I bet his son is still up there around that old place. So, well, he got on the phone a day or two after that and called and found that old man, found that boy, which he was an old man at that time too, but he found the son of the man that owned the sawmill. And my father-in-law told him who he was and what he used to do for him. And he mentioned that there was a swage up there that he used to straighten the teeth out, fix the teeth on the saw blade. He said, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Mr. Harvey. He said, that thing is still hanging in a sack down there in that shed. Well, they talked a little bit, and he agreed to sell that to my father-in-law. Well, he gave him $40 for this. So he drove up there a couple of hours, and they talked a little bit. Well, this swage, kind of special to me because it's something that my father-in-law used when he was a young man. And my father-in-law was like another father to me. He was a good man. So I kind of cherished this a little bit. But that's a little story about that, about the swage and how it works. You got your saw blade, of course, it's in a little vise right here right now. but this is fixed on your machine. You don't take it off your machine. It's got this groove in the bottom of it. There's a cam on this roller right here, on this lever. You can see it. You can see a cam right in there on that. So you hook this over your blade, and it locks in the teeth, and you tighten it up, and when you bring this around, this is a stop. You can adjust this stop around to different positions to where you want that to stop, so you get the same spread on every tooth all the way around this blade. And then what you do is you just loosen it up and you move to the next tooth. Tighten it up, repeat the process over again. But anyway, that's what this is. It's an old saw blade swage for a steel solid tooth sawmill. I hope you have enjoyed that here at Never a Dull Moment with Shasta, Fred, myself, and Howard. If you like what we do, please like and subscribe to our channel, and I hope you have a wonderful day.